Okay, so the artist we are studying is Frida Kahlo, and the project we are participating in right now are Mexican nicho sculptures, which are like portable altars, and they kind of remind us of Day of the Dead. And even though this imagery here does not contain any skulls, you are welcome to use any kind of Mexican folk art imagery. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to remind everybody, some of the key elements here. We've got not just a heart, but you want to really like embellish things. You've got a heart with an eye, with rays coming out, and a crown and flowers. So very, very much, very full, very decorative. But before we get to any of that, I'm going to show you how to construct the box. So the box has like two main parts, which would be like the recessed part and then kind of this like surround, right? And the surround is coming forward. So you should have received a piece of paper like this, okay? And at this time, you're gonna use your scissors and you're gonna cut them apart. This is gonna be the surround part, and this here will be what will become the box. Okay? So, not now, but later we will cut out these corners. Okay, so now I have these two pieces. I have already made my cereal box more manageable in terms of its size. And just like how we do when we're making cookies or when we're making the quilts, I'm trying to get a lot of stuff on here, like I'm trying to get, both the surround and the box. So you need to think about how you're doing your pieces here. Ooh, it barely makes it. All right, so I'm gonna go up against the edge here. I'm just gonna hold it. I'll take my scissors. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you wanna make it, pretty close. Set that aside. Now, I'm gonna cut out these corners. Like I always say, I'm going fast. You don't need to go fast. Okay, great. So now I have this here, which will become this box shortly. I'm gonna set that aside. Next, I have my other piece, which will be a little bit bigger. I can see already here that like it's not gonna be quite as big as this, quite as big as the sheet. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay. Okay, now this is slightly trickier, but not overly tricky, kids. I'm gonna cut into this and remove this rectangle. Put this on here. I'm gonna paint over this later, so it doesn't really matter. I can see this is a little heavier on this side, so I'm scooching it over. I have wobbly hands because I'm going so fast, okay? Now, how do we cut the center of a thing out, right? Hopefully you would have learned this somewhere in your life, but I'm just gonna kind of poke a hole. Be careful. And then I'm gonna go over to the edge. So this is like the window, you know, of my Nicho. You definitely, hopefully I didn't just make a mistake. You want it to be not bigger than that rectangle because your stuff won't work. All right, cool. So now, let me move this out of the way. I'm gonna save my scraps. I don't know what I might use them for later. You know, I might make these into jewels or something, I don't know. So then, I have this, which will become the box, or I should say this, and then this, which will become the surround. Now I'm going to fold this, and fold this. Well, actually, I can see it's not perfect. Let's see if it'll work though. Fold this. Okay. All right, so now, let's see. I might have to adjust it slightly. And this is a little tall. Okay. So now I'm only giving you so much tape. So you need to use the tape sparingly because we will run out of tape if you use too much. So I'm probably gonna give you about, this is about 12 inches of tape to do this whole thing. All right, so I'm gonna rip off some smaller pieces to secure these corners. Okay. There's one. There's two. And I want the non-printed side of the box to be the part that is the inside of the box because that'll be easier to paint. 3. Ooh, I even probably used too much tape for this. Hope I don't run out. 4. Okay, so here we go. Then I need this guy to go on here. So I'm gonna turn it over. And I have my remaining tape. Maybe I'll give myself a little more. And I'm going to like hinge it. Okay, so now I have my box. I don't like this little gap here, so I am gonna allow myself some more tape. I'm gonna go all around these edges. Even still, it's not very much. One. I still recommend hinging it in the beginning. 2. 3. 4. Okay. Okay, cool. Now, then on here, your name, your symbol, and your table letter. And let's have a look. Okay, looking pretty good. So this is the start of my shadow box. Next, I should have saved my pieces. So here is a piece that I know will fit well into this space. So I'm gonna refer to my drawing. And I know that I want the interior of my space to be a heart and a crown, and I want those to be like raised areas. So if I know that this is the right size and I need to make it smaller than that, you should use pencil. I'm using Sharpies for the ease of seeing it. And also my heart has it's bleeding. So I'm gonna put the drop at the bottom, okay? And then later I'm going to, well, I'll cut this out later too, but I want a crown. And maybe I'll do some other things here. I don't know yet. So now I'm going to cut this out. Now, could I have gone closer to the edge? Yes. But I wanted to understand how it would fit into my box. Oops. Oh, don't. I want it to stay attached. Okay. So that's gonna go in here. Here's my crown. Okay, and later, when I put these in, I'm gonna make like little cardboard accordions behind them so they stick out. So, I want to paint my pieces separately, then install them, okay? So what I need to do is create a situation where these won't get lost in the meantime. So I'm gonna grab a paper clip. I'm gonna keep these pieces together. Now, I could do more pieces. I have all this left over. I could do all kinds of little hearts, like raised hearts along the edge. And that's things that are sticking out are gonna look so much cooler than things that are not sticking out. So I'm thinking about this now, like, let me just put this off to the side. What if I instead, let's see, here's a flower, cut that out. Now, there will be days that we're painting and there'll be days that we're not painting, you know, and that's just the way it goes because we're not gonna have all the stuff all the days. All right, so something like that could go up here. And I mean, of course I can just paint on here too, but I really like this like add-on effect. What about if I made like a banner? And on this banner, I can like kind of bend it a little bit and write something later. You know, that could be, or like, this is here, or here, or here, you know, just, anyhow, it's good to stick to your drawing, but also I want to, you know, empower you to improvise. So I'm gonna get all my pieces here and I'm gonna prepare to paint.